What's in a name? That's a well-known cliché question which could become something of a study if a new idea in marriage catches on. I'll be right back. In a recent edition of the Alternative magazine published by the Saturday Evening Club, a gentleman named Joseph McGrath wrote tellingly of something that could change our society more than switching to the metric system. Mr. McGrath had seen an item in his local paper about an upcoming marriage. The thing that had caught his eye was the announcement that the young couple, in keeping with some of the ideas floating around these days, intended to keep both their surnames. They would, as a married couple, be known as the Schwam Bukowskis, not Mr. and Mrs. Bukowski. Now, if I'd seen that item, I must confess I probably would have shrugged it off as a little silly, but certainly that's their right if that's what they wanted to put on their mailbox. But Mr. McGrath, while conceding that latter point, has a more inquiring mind. He looked into the future, not only of the Schwam Bukowskis, but the future of society if such an idea catches on. Envisioning parenthood for the happy couple, Mr. McGrath does some supposing. Suppose a daughter Janet is born, Janet Schwam Bukowski, who grows up and marries a young man who also has a dual name, the idea having caught on. Janet Schwam Bukowski and Jack Krenwinkel Roger become the Schwam Bukowski Krenwinkel Rogers. Time passes, and they're blessed with a son they promptly name Frank. Reaching the age of 21, Mr. McGrath envisions Frank Schwam Bukowski Krenwinkel Roger falling in love with and marrying a lovely young lady, Juanita Halloran Schwam, no relation, Morningside Lucarelli. This nice young couple, being sentimental and nostalgic over earlier times, named their firstborn after a favorite great-granduncle named John Smith. And there it is on the birth certificate. John Smith, Halloran Schwam, Morningside, Lucarelli, Schwam, Bukowski, Krenwinkel, Roger. Without getting into additional generations, Mr. McGrath then took up some of the associated problems started by the young couple, the Schwam Bukowskis who set us off on this course. Roll calls at the start of the school day could conceivably take until lunchtime. Of course, he points out, there would be rejoicing on the bureaucratic front, the computers would be humming like crazy, and the Form 1040 would have to have a lot of additional lines. Telephone directory printing would be a great growth industry. And how about all those monogrammed items, towels, bed linens, handkerchiefs, and even shirts? Monogrammed jewelry, tie clips, cuff links, earrings, etc.? Well, we'd probably just have to give up on those. But how about those conventions and business meetings where a sticker bearing your name is stuck to your lapel? It would become an 11 by 14 placard hung around your neck like a bib. Mr. McGrath carried his vision of the future to other problem areas, the engravers of tombstones, for example. He may have created a new parlor game. Try it at your next social gathering. I've thought of one already, probably because of an earlier occupation of mine. Can't you hear a sports announcer now saying excitedly, quote, John Smith, Halloran Schwam, Morningside, Lucarelli Schwam, no relation, Bukowski, Krenwinkel, Roger is fading back to pass. I wonder if we could get Miss Schwam and Mr. Bukowski to reconsider. This is Ronald Reagan. Thanks for listening.